I think I'm a viewer who was blessed to be on the other side.
Sounds a bit like Fight Club, but CS:GO version.
How much do I get paid? I don't keep up with the soap opera of this community. What is that? Portugal is a different thing, you know. We just
If anything, that made me realize that I need to start binging One Piece more. Let's get straight into this. You've already made me a little bit giddy, so I apologize if I giggle some points. But Archer, starting this conversation a little bit differently, because I've actually been on the other side of some of your interviews, right? Back in Stockholm, around all of those NLC player interviews. And there was one question that you just kept on bringing up to people, right? I'm not sure if you remember it, but I'm going to say it anyway. You asked the players about Source, right? So I've got to flip it for you. Straight off the bat, Mr. Archer, do you like Source?
It depends. What sort of sauce we talking about? Where are we putting the sauce? Is it like for meat? Is it for fish? Is it for pancakes? You gotta be specific.
It's a bit of a broad question, but I'll just say Source in general. I mean, I still think it's absolutely criminal to have a kebab with no sauce, but
Okay, hear me out. When I went to Berlin in 2022, I didn't know how to cook properly. I'm gonna be honest. I was awful. I had someone who cooked for me back then, and she cooked so well, so I missed out. So when I got to Berlin, I started studying, and I actually took a few courses in cuisine to learn how to cook properly. So
Mhm.
one of the things that I've learned since I've got into the fitness life is how to make sauces out of like myself, so they're not as high on calories and they actually taste good. So I make some mean burgers when I have parties, and I was able to study and break down the Big Mac sauce
Ooh,
with less than like 20% of the calories that the original has, and it tastes the same. So I think sauce is a must. Like kebab, if you're going for the kebab, if you're going for pancakes, depends on the pancakes you're going to make, but you
mm,
need some sauce with that. Like, yeah, I think sauce is necessary. I don't know, nuggets though. Nuggets are nuggets.
yeah.
I agree with Baus. You're stealing away
Mm.
the flavor of a nugget if you put sauce.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
wasn't too big of a fan of the truffle one that we saw in Sweden. I thought, I'm gonna stay away from that a little bit. But
Criminal.
yeah, absolutely criminal. Straight to jail, mate. But for people who might not know the full journey of you, from CS:GO to League, from like hosting to inspiring kids in a way, would you kind of be able to give us a quick snapshot of who you are today and kind of the path that got you here?
Man, that is a long one. I'm just a weird kid who started playing games because he couldn't get out of his house. I was way too sick when I was a kid. I had a disease that didn't allow me to even go to school without going to the hospital afterwards.
Mm,
So my friends to begin with were video games. I started playing Mega Man, Sonic, back
mm,
in Mega Drive, where everybody was playing PlayStation. I was still on Mega Drive because my family didn't had a lot of money to begin with. We were on the poorer side, so we struggled a lot. But my friends were video games, and when I was able to start, hanging out with people because I was able to survive the disease, even though I was told I was going to die before the surgery. Cool.
oof,
Yeah, I wanted to give back because at the end of the day, I do believe that League of Legends saved my life. So I decided to actually play competitive. I play competitive on season 1, season 2. Back in the day when ESL was holding tournaments like Winter Split and stuff like that, I played versus ATN, Fnatic, Moscow 5. I played
oof.
versus like big boys. And after I played versus Moscow 5, uh, Alex Each, I think it was Alex Each that added me on League of Legends. And I was like, man, I'm a big fan. He's going to add me. Is he going to flame me after the game? Is he going to like say anything cool? And he just goes like, you play too good to be on that trash team. Get better.
What?
I'm like, I just got flamed and praised at the same time.
Like a
Damn.
50-50.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 up the slap with a hug. Like, Gosh. So eventually I stopped playing. Someone invited me to do analyst work on the tournament in Portuguese, but I'm way too hyped. So I kept screaming at team fights, and they said, "You might be a play by player." And then eventually I was invited to do Blast as a host. That was my first hosting gig in 2018.
Mm.
It went well. Uh, and I got more invited, more invited, more invited. And today I'm this one. But at the end of the day, I like to look at myself as a kid who really enjoys League of Legends. I think I'm a viewer who was blessed to be on the other side, and I want to bring as much as I can so everybody on the other side can have the same experience that I had in the past. And if somehow I'm able to reach out to someone who went through the same things as I did, was not capable of getting out, who didn't have any friends or anything like that. And if my personality on air is capable of reaching out to that individual, even if it's one, worth it.
That's honestly, that's quite unique, I feel like. But rewinding backwards, right? You said before League, before NLC, your journey kind of started with CSGO around 2018, right?
Mhm.
I believe that was the time you were hosting Masters League Portugal
Good gracious.
with
That's a whole
Curly
month.
D.
Damn. Yeah. So I used to cast back then, and they were like, "We need someone for interviews. We need someone for stage. Is there anything you
Mm.
can do?" And I went there with Diana. With Diana, yeah. It was the first breakthrough for Portugal. Portugal is really big on CS. Like it's a culture. We often say we live Dragon Ball and CS. Everything else is like an addition. It's an additional
Mm.
thing. It's CS and Dragon Ball, and that was the breakthrough where E2 Tech in Portugal is E2 Tech, which is a massive production. They started off as gamers. They did LANs and they won the brisket and they did their event. We filled out Mel Arena with 3,000 or 3,500 people over there. That was massive. That was our first experience of, hey, maybe Portugal can hold something big. And then Blast came over. And that was a breakthrough for Portugal.
What was the Portuguese scene like back then? Was it more kind of organized or grassroots in a way then?
League of Legends or CS?
CS.
CS, I think it was always interesting. It was always over the top. The 1.6 on CS, the source or whatever you want to talk about, it was always big. Everybody would go on to lands and coffee shops with the
Mm.
computers and play off. Our legend Fox used to play at those after school or even while school was going. He would go there and just op people, and like it's a massive culture for CS. It was extremely violent, and that was beautiful. I know people might disagree with me, but CS from the old days in Portugal, good crashes. It was awesome. We would have like big lands filled with a lot of people
Mm.
just playing in. Like teams would just sign in, go there, play it there, like a DreamHack, for instance, or Insomnia, as you guys still have in the UK. We would have that constantly. And on CS, people would flame each other online and they would always say the same thing. I'll meet you when this event holds up. And when we got to those events, we would have like 20 names of like duels that we need to hold, but they have to be outside, because out of respect from the community. And it would be a list of people. I'm going to beat this guy, but I also have to beat this guy because I have beef with this, beef with this, beef with this. But at the end of the day, everybody was friends. So usually nothing happened. It was rare occasions. Organized, I don't know, but today is a different. It's a different thing. We have television, RTP Arena, who started with the esports broadcast, and now they have their own Twitch channel. They have their own website, and they're doing a wonderful job. And I think CS nowadays in Portugal is on another level because people can actually make a living out of casting, out of playing, and that's amazing.
Sounds a bit like Fight Club, but CS:GO version.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the problem is the first rule, it didn't exist. We
Yeah.
often talked about it. That was the first
Oh,
rule. Talk about who you want to beat.
yeah. got the whole like scroll of lists of names and all of that of just this guy. Oh, you flame me in ranked, you're getting it.
I'm gonna beat you up. Like that was as simple as it would get. You flame me, I'm gonna beat you up. I used to play League of Legends back then. I just saw the CS community. I was invested by watching it like a Netflix special, like a soap opera, And when I would get to events, I would see everybody screaming at each other. I'm like, damn, wow, CS must be amazing. Everybody lives this to the fullest.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, mindless. No, I'm kidding, obviously, but it was they were really passionate about it. Portugal is a different thing, We just oh
Oh,
man.
oh man, I'm crying. Oh,
Oh, you get ready. There's much more.
oh, I'm so jealous, man. We have lands like that in the UK, but like not like that.
Oh man, it's I used to be really toxic when I played League of Legends back in the day. Um, I was really toxic, and there was one game. I can't believe I'm saying this. I was a kid. Okay, I was a kid. So I was playing on a big LAN, and my team was the underdog, but we did have really good players, except the
Mm.
support. The
Oof. Oh
support was
no.
special. It was special because it would show up enlightened. He would reach Nirvana before the tournament,
Oh, okay.
always with red eyes. And we would be like, man, we have a tournament tomorrow. Please behave. Don't do anything stupid, okay? It's going to affect your gameplay and then the team's gameplay. But he would always show up enlightened. Anyway, we have a big tournament and we were the underdogs. We were winning. We were smashing the tournament. And we go, it was like, we didn't even have lower brackets. It was like you lose, you're out. It was a
Okay.
BO1 as well. That's the old day.
Oh,
And
no.
we going versus the best team of the tournament. And we're like, damn, this is it. If we win now, we win the tournament because they're the best. They are by far the best. We're going to start the game. We log in. We go into Summoner's Rift. Our support is not in game. And we're like, gosh, really? We have to remake this. And apparently it was not his fault. Even though he was enlightened, it was not his fault. It was the internet that was not loading on his computer. So I called the referee because it's a big LAN. So the referee has to do everything around. And then we're like, hey, we don't have internet on our support. This is from like the production itself. Like, can we do a remake? It's the minions haven't spawned yet. And he goes, nah, can't do anything. Good luck. I'm like, it's 4v5.
What?
And he goes like, yeah, but it's the other named team. I'm not going to name it, so everybody like don't do anything. But it's the other team who's playing, so we're not going to waste time. I'm like, what do you mean? Is this rigged? And he goes like, nah, they're my friends, so I just want him to go through. And I was toxic, and I told him like, you're going to remake this. Trust me, you're going to remake this. If they win 4v5, you're going to remake this. We go through, we lose the game, 4v5, figures. And I was fuming. And everybody was telling me, it doesn't matter, just a tournament, let it go. I'm like, okay, I'm doing my best. I was fuming. And the guy goes by me, like the referee goes by me, and he says, like everybody heard it, like, what you gonna do now, boy?
Oh, oh no. CSGO list, get him outside. Here we go.
Oh, I didn't even wait for him to get outside. I picked my chair. It was those plastic chairs from the lawn. I'm like, remake this! And I threw him the chair. Newsflash, he did remake the game. He did remake the game. And we lost anyway. I was horrible. I healed myself, After that tournament, I decided, like, take a break. This is not good for you. And then I went on a spiritual level, not like my support. I went on a spiritual journey, and I was able to cure my toxic behavior. And I don't think it's good, kids. Don't do it. It's horrible. Don't do it.
What role were you playing though? Because I feel like
I was
that's
playing mid on that one.
that's like a top laner or a jungler type of reaction.
I was a mid laner, but I did start as a top laner. Yeah. I have the top
Emo,
laner
right?
bloods. The team. Yeah, that was my My
Oh,
main. Timo was my main. Yeah. I love my boy Timo, man.
oh, yeah, Timo's great. I used to have a one-trick Timo account, but we won't go too deep into that.
You know someone is toxic if your main is Timo. It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Just sit under tower, wait for someone to finish, and then go AFK for the rest of the rest of the game.
Oh, that's mean. Oh, that's. See, I was not that sort of toxic. I played to win.
Hey man, that was when I was like 16. Okay, that was
Yeah,
like
yeah, forgivable.
venting emotions, but through being toxic in League.
Jesus. Riot, I'm sorry. I swear, I'm sorry. You can check my logs, my chats. I'm actually really well behaved.
Yeah, I'm really well behaved. I don't flame anyone. I promise.
Season 1 was bad though.
Oh, oh no. I remember. I mean, if this says enough about me, my first main in League was Draven. So
Yeah, checks out. Checks out. Either you are the most polite guy playing Draven, or
the latter, right?
you know.
Sometimes.
Mm.
But all those events, right? That must have given you somewhat of an experience of how esports is run eventually, and then you kind of got more and more into the scene in a way. But my question for you is, you are known as a host, right? Typically,
Yeah.
you'll equally do some stuff on the desk. I mean, NLC, Div 2 equally play-by-play, right? But what drew you towards hosting specifically?
I think opportunities.
Mm.
I didn't know how to speak English back then. I had no idea. And I posted a YouTube video of me trying to cast back in the day. And Zairine from NA reached out to me. I'm like, hey, you have potential. What do you want? I'm like, I want to be at LEC. Back in the day, LCS. I want to be a
Mm.
play-by-play caster. I started learning with Zairine with Vedius. He was my partner back in the
Ooh,
day. So that was a long time
that's a
ago.
long time ago.
My English was horrible. It was atrocious, man. I swear, I'm so sorry for Venice having to deal well with me. But Zyrene did see something in me. And eventually, when I didn't get the opportunity, he told me, like, your personality calls you for something else. I don't know what. And then in 2018, I was invited by Blast to do it, which I declined, by the way. I declined the proposal from Blast because I thought, hey, this is the biggest event Portugal is going to get. This is the biggest opportunity.
Mm.
Someone actually within the CS scene should do this, not me. I like to watch it, but I'm not like invested on CS enough to take this opportunity. So I declined. I said no. And then one of my best friends, BHT, which is a caster in Portugal, he's a caster in Portugal, a play-by-play. He calls me, and he's my best friend. He's one of my best friends, and I pick him up on the next day, and I'm like, "Hey, what do you want to talk to me about?" And as soon as I pick up, he starts screaming, non-stop swearing, calling me every name in like the dictionary. I've learned a few words on that call as well. I didn't even know they existed. But the summary of it was, you're going to accept this job right now. You're going to say sorry, you're going to say yes, and you're going to do it. While he was swearing, like 50 swears and then one word. And I'm like, I feel like I'm stealing someone else's job. And he was like, no, you're not. You're the only one who can do this in Portugal. Please help us. So I took that opportunity. When I was announced as a host, I was flamed so hard on Twitter from
Oh
the
no.
Portuguese community because I was not like big on CS. I had to shut down my social media for a week before the event. I logged off. I had more than 30 to 40 death threats.
Whoa.
So I was like, either this goes really well or I just ended my career. So I do my best. I do what I could. And at the end of the event, every caster from Blast itself were like, you were born for this. What are you doing? Where were you before? I'm like, I had no idea. I didn't even know how to speak English. What do you mean? What do you mean? So that was a big breakthrough, and I realized I have the personality. My English is not good enough to be a play-by-play. I have an accent. The play-by-play needs to be clean, and we have to
Mm,
accept that. If you're going to be the heat of the moment, the team fight, you need to be clean. If you want to be a color caster, I can see it happen. The Fishu back in the day was able to pull it through. Other people were able to pull it through. But the cleaner you are as a play-by-play, the better. And I'm like, I took that L and I said, instead of like being defeated by my origins, I'm going to adapt. And I became a host because I can still do what I want. At the end of the day, I'm going to let you know what I really want. I want to get to know players and I want to know what it means to them to see victory at the end of the screen or what it
mm,
means to them to see defeat. Because when I was a kid and I was dying, and my doctor told me you have 15% chances of surviving, 15% of survival on this surgery. You're not going to make it. And I was able to make it. That victory to me at the end of the screen on the Summoner's Rift means the life to me because regardless of how the game started, I was able to pull it through. So I want to know what the player feels like, what it means to you, to Baus, to Nemesis, to whatever. So as a host, I can do that because I can talk to them. I'm really happy. Long answer, sorry.
no, no, no. I love long answers. It's perfectly fine. I'm a bit of a yapper myself, so
Yeah, that's
I mean that's what you get for being in the esports broadcast scene, right? But you originally came from CS:GO in a broadcast point of view, right? So kind of what brought you to League, that transition, like what was kind of the spark behind it to work on a desk and host in a totally different game?
because I was a League of Legends player. I was a League of Legends player. Then I turned into a League of Legends play-by-play caster back in
Mm,
the day for the LPLOL before it was an ERL. Because I'm one of the founders of LPLOL. I used to do tournaments in my own stream. And then a company came to me and asked me, like, hey, do you want to do this as a league instead of just random tournaments you're doing on your own broadcast? So we came up with LPLOL. And I was one of the big founders of LPLOL. But that was in Portuguese. And I wanted to branch out. And CS hold its hand for me. And that's why I joined CS, because I wanted to branch out. And then after the 2018, someone in Berlin from Freaks for You told me, hey, do you want to host in English, a full time? You have to move to Berlin. That was in 2022. I'm going to be honest with you. I was doing 2 to 3 events in English per year. So my English it was not there. I didn't know how to
mm,
speak proper English, like holding a conversation, being on stage, doing funny things. Yeah. Doing a actual communication, I couldn't do it. So when they invited me, I'm like, is this all in English? It was like, yeah, you're going to move to Berlin and you have to speak English 24/7. You're comfortable with English, right? I'm like, how much do I get paid? And he told me, I'm like, I'm very fluent, very nice,
mm.
ready. I went there. I had a small clue of how to speak English. And if you look into the first broadcast of the NLC in 2022, I have the biggest notebook you could ever see. And everybody want to know what was inside of that notebook. And this is a cool story. I can finally reveal it because now I can speak English. Since I didn't know how to speak English, I went on Google Translator and I
Ooh.
translated every sentence I wanted from Portuguese to English. And I wrote it on the left side of the notebook. And then on the right side, I would write in what the possible answers were from the desk. So my first day, I had more than 30 pages written of open conversation so I wouldn't get caught. Whenever someone on the desk would deviate from those answers, I would slowly get in and follow with the conversation. And they're like, man, you're really good at pinpointing when the conversation needs to go through. I'm like, yeah, because I have no idea what they're saying. But since I was forced to talk English 24/7 with Trouble, Meta, Initialize, Brian Jamada, Goldborg back in the day, I got used to it kind of fast. German, though, I have no idea how to speak German. I really tried. Good gracious. Nah.
Yeah, that was a bit difficult. I mean, I only speak English. I haven't even tempted with another language. I'm not smart
Don't
enough
do
to do
it.
any of that.
It's horrible.
I'm jealous of people who speak two languages, right? But like, oh, I don't have the energy to learn another language.
It's really hard, yeah, especially German. I couldn't. I really tried Duolingo. I really tried.
Mm.
I failed miserably. I did try, but yeah, I couldn't.
What was some of your first impressions of kind of the league scene with the NLC compared to stuff like CS:GO? Because they're dramatically different. I mean, in League, you don't have a fight club outside of the tournaments. So,
True, true.
I mean,
Way more
start
chill.
one, but
No, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. I was at LPLOL and even on CS. Like CS, I really like the community of CS in Portugal. The League of Legends community in Portugal, it's complicated. I think it's getting better and better and better. Back in the day, it was extremely toxic, but toxic just for the toxicity of it. There was no objective. Everybody
mm,
wanted to flame each other and they were happy with it. There was a massive situation of a support player in Portugal, League of Legends. A support player was able, this is ludicrous, okay? This is ludicrous. He was able to seduce the enemy mid laner's girlfriend.
what?
So she would cheat on that guy with him. So his mind was buggled on the tournament. He won, comes on the interview.
Oh
I didn't
no.
know of this. He joins in and goes, yeah, we won because I was able to get that. And sucks on you for losing the game and the girl. And I'm like on the interview, like,
What?
and my analyst starts laughing. I'm like, did you know about this? And he goes like, yeah, everybody knew. I'm like, I don't keep up with the soap opera of this community. What is it? I'm invested on CS, on the action movie of CS. I'm not on the romantic side of League of Legends. So it was just being toxic by just being toxic. When I got to the NLC, it was a breath of fresh air. When I started to get to know the players, the community, and then the casters, like I've been blessed.
Mm,
I don't even know if people realize how blessed I was to jump in on a new league and get in on a studio, a big studio with Trouble, Nightmare, Initialize, Airplane, Jamada, Goldberg, you name it. That team was goaded. Was goaded. Like I can't even describe it. So I was so blessed with that group that treated me so well that I was like, I was in love with it. And even when I was fired from the NLC in 2023 because Freaks lost like the opportunity to follow with the NLC and they had to give it to another competitor, which is now Leagues.gg, but they didn't know me, so they wanted to try something different. So even though I lost that gig, I didn't went back to LOL in Portugal. I was like, I want to be on the northern region because this is my region. Yeah, I'm Portuguese, but my region is the northern region. I root for the NLC nowadays at EMEA instead of the LPLOL. If the LPLOL wins, like, yeah, I'm going to be proud because I'm Portuguese. But my heart is like split. That's my community. Sorry, Portugal.
nah. So, kind of going from coming into NLC, not speaking much English, right? And then suddenly you're kind of one of the most recognizable faces and voices in the whole of the NLC. I mean, you're the first person we see every single time on that stage doing the intro.
Not out
Classic
of choice for
Archer,
you guys.
classic Archer clap. But what did that journey feel like from your perspective?
For the NLC.
Mm,
I did open up at the end of 2022. I think 2022 was the year I died and I was born again. And I'm not even
mm,
kidding. It was a rough one. It was the worst year of my life and the best year of my life because I was able to see all my weaknesses, face them all, and finally make a decision whether I wanted to keep going like that or remake myself. 2023 was a year of rebuilding. In 2024, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go out again. It was rough. It was rough. I was blessed with the people I was surrounded by. I don't know if I would still be here if it was not for that group. Totally honest. Because I think we should be proud of these things and openly talk about them. I don't think
mm,
I would be here without them. Like Trouble is such a big friend of mine. Like I really love Trouble. Hip Brain really grown on me as well, especially on 2024, 2025. Jamada was a big one for me. He kind of destroyed me, but he saved me. We can go to that one if you want to talk about something really laughable. Um, Everyone had a big part. Goldberg, like I love Goldberg. I still have his video of my goodbye in Berlin in 2022 at the end of the year. We filmed a video of him saying goodbye. Means so much to me. Means so much. So I don't know if I would still be here without those guys. I went through a lot. I was tested, and I did try to commit seppuku by the end of the year.
Mm.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a weird day. It was a weird day. And that's when I looked into the mirror and I was like, "Do you want to be this guy? Who do you want to be?" And I made that decision on that day. I talked to God. And I'm a religious person, even though people don't believe it. I'm really religious, and I was able to talk to God. I'm like, "Hey, what do we do?" And I gave myself a trial period of 30 days. A trial period, and I was able to commit to those 30 days, and I was able to pull through. But I think it was really enlightened. I think I reached my nirvana. I was able to get to know the world as well. I went to Abu Dhabi by the end of the world, so it was also fun to see how that happened. I did spend New Year's Eve like by myself and New Year's by myself,
Mm.
and that was like important because I always spent New Year's and Christmas with my ex. Nowadays, my ex. We were together for 15 years. We were about to get
Wow.
married in 2022, and 1 month before I was married, I was single. So yeah, that was a wake up call, even on New Year's Eve, like to spend it by myself and see, yeah, this is you now. Either accept it or collapse. And if you don't keep climbing, someone else will keep climbing. Might as well be you. I think it was the greatest year of my life, but the most horrible year as well.
Kind of
Do
double-sided coin.
you want to go deep? We can go deep, man. It's up to you.
Reborn like Pantheon, some would say.
Yeah, Pantheon saved me. Actually, I didn't play Pantheon until Trouble told me, "Hey, you look like Pantheon." I was like, my
It's
favorite
true though.
personality is Leonidas. Like,
Ooh.
if I could go back and meet someone, it would be Leonidas. So when she said that, and she's Greek. And I was like, yeah, my biggest, like, I'm the biggest fan of Leonidas. He was like, yeah, you look like Leonidas. Look, oh, so that changed. And I started playing Pantheon. And then you hear Pantheon talk, and these quotes are like, that guy's manly. You want to
Yeah,
be like him.
he's got some banger quotes.
He
It's
did. He
not
did.
like Timo quotes. Up 2, 3,
Hey,
4.
yeah, but Timo, we're not all getting alive from this one, dude. That's
Yeah, that one's a bit bleak, but the majority of Timo ones are.
But I play Omega Squad Timo. It's different.
Okay, yeah, that's
He's
different
built
then.
different.
He's like army Timo then. That's the Timo that has seen some things. But
That's my Timo, yeah.
Abu Dhabi airport. We were talking about this beforehand, but I just want to re-go over that a little.
Okay. So Abu Dhabi was a showcase of how poor I am. And also how much I wanted to learn. So I went with Blast to Abu Dhabi, and we were scheduling the airplanes and all that. I'm like, hey, they sent you like the scheduling, like, hey, which plane do you want? I'm like, hey, the cheapest. And everybody around me, the talent was like, huh?
Huh?
I'm like, oh, what do you mean? And everybody started laughing. I'm like, man, I'm Portuguese. We're poor. What do you mean?
Who doesn't want the
So
cheapest?
I put on my jacket. It was in Berlin. It was -5 degrees when I got out of my house. It was still snowing. And I go there. I was really happy with it. My leather jacket. I was really happy. I go into the airport. And then I go to Turkey. I do a stop in Turkey. From Turkey, I see that massive airport. I'm like, wow, this is big. And then I go onto the airplane on the Emirates airline. Dude, you don't know what is living good until you see what the people living good are living like. I go on the airplane and the stewardess goes like, can you show me the tickets? why? I'm just trying to find my seat. Oh, to know to which side of the airplane you go. I'm like, what do you mean
Hmm?
sides? I show her the ticket. She's like, oh, this way. I'm like, no, it's usually to the right. What do you mean to the left? I'm like, oh, you're in first class. I'm like, what is first class? What is that? So I go in, and you have individual booths.
Whoa.
I'm like, I've seen this in the movies, but what? So I sit down, and the chair goes back like it's a bed, and it extends into a bed. I'm like, oh, and I have my own monitor with my own Netflix account. It's not Netflix, it's something different, but it has all the movies. It has like a headset that is new because they have a new headset for everyone walking in. You know all the things that you for the window. Usually you pull down the window, right? Yeah, you pull down and
Mm.
it goes dark, and you pull back and you see the lights. No, there's tint. So when you click on the button, it dims out. So you can still see outside, but there's no light. I'm like, oh man, I'm too poor to understand these things. So the stewardess comes over and she's like, would you like to get something? What would you like before we take off? And I'm like, I would like to take off. She was like, no, beverage. I'm like, what do you have? I'm like, oh, you have yourself a menu on your own closet. I'm like, I have a closet. So I go down there and I pick the menu. Champagne, blah, 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 blah. I see orange juice. I'm like, can I get this one? And she was like, yeah, yeah. How big do you want? I'm like, which one is the cheapest? And she starts laughing and everybody starts giggling. I'm like, oh gosh, they realize I'm poor. Because it's for free. You don't need to pay anything. She's like, yeah, it's you don't need to pay anything. So I'm like, so I want the big one. She brings me the orange along with like champagne for everybody, and you see everybody walking in, and you see how all well dressed they are. So you realize
Mm.
I'm out of place. I'm out of place. So we go up, and she was like, "Hey, do you want salmon or chicken?" I'm like, "Which one is heated?" And she was like, "No, no, the chef will prepare for you." I'm like,
Oh.
"There's a chef, so
On the
that means
plane?
there's a kitchen with someone cooking inside of it." She was like, "Yeah." I'm like, gosh. So out of a sudden, the stewardesses start going in, and I get a different one every single time. And they're not bothering, but they want to talk to me because they realize it's my first time doing that. So they want to get me ready, blah, blah, blah. So as soon as I get out of the airplane, I get the biggest heat stroke of my life because I went from -5. It was in December. Hear me out.
Mm.
-5 in Berlin. It was 27 in a night in Abu
Ooh.
Dhabi. I'm wearing a leather jacket. I start sweating. I'm gonna die. So I take my leather jacket and I go in and I'm like, where should I go? I don't understand anything. Like these words don't mean anything to me. So as I'm going in, and I told you, I'm like, oh, international passports. That's me. So I started going that way, and someone calls me in Arabic, and then they're like pointing this way. I'm like, and I point to the international, and they take out the gun, the MP5. They show it to me. They're like, and I'm like, oh, obviously it's that way. What I was thinking, man, you have a gun. You am I your son? Am I your daughter? I am whatever you want me to be. So I
Oh.
go there. And as soon as they ask me for my ID, I show them my passport, which is a Portuguese passport. And he goes like, oh, Portuguese, Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm like, hey, don't kill me. And he goes like, yeah, that way, get out. I'm like, yeah. So should I like get out? And he's holding the MP5 again. Oh, I'm like, yeah, obviously, I'm. You only see my
Oh,
shadow right now.
I'm gone.
I'm gone, dude. You tell me, man. I can cook for you. There's a chef on the airplane if you want some food. There's leftovers. Don't kill me. So when I go to the international part, there's people, staff actually coming to you to greet you because it's like all fancy and all that. Like, oh, what airplane were you in? I tell them, they bring me to the lounge, and I get to meet Scrawny and Launders. They are there. I'm still really confused, and we go to the hotel, which is like giant. It's ridiculous. It was giant. It was so beautiful. And on those like 10 days I was there, I realized how poor I was. Here I am in Berlin, happy that I got like toilet paper with 3 leaves. Like, 3 layers of toilet paper. I'm living the good life. I go to Abu Dhabi, I'm like, ha, okay, I'm going back to 1 layer. No, it was really good. It was. I actually really enjoyed my time there. Like, not even kidding. Abu Dhabi, they reach out to me on Twitter saying, "Hey, do you want to go to the Oceanary? If you want to, we can get you a ticket." Like they were so welcoming. And sadly, I was working, so I couldn't go. I really wanted to go there again as a tourist. Dude, like actually, really cool place.
Just gotta hope there's no MP5 at the airport this time.
Please no. Now I know where to go. If someone calls me, I'll just raise my passport and they realize I'm not Turkish or Arabic because I had the big beard back in the day. Yeah, I was looking different.
What is this Jamada story then?
Oh boy, you went for the worst one. I could go for the enlightened part, and you go for Jamada, man. Jamada is my bro. Jamada is a really funny guy. He's a really funny guy. So he used to troll people on the green room, and he would be like, he would mess with people, and when they replied, he would go, "Are you saying that because?" And
Oh,
everybody would fumble, but it was a joke. It was a joke. It was just messing with people. Jamada is man, I love Jamada, but I would never fumble. I would never fumble. And he asked me like, and then we started talking about roots, and I'm not 100% Portuguese. I'm 50% Portuguese. My mom is from Africa, Mozambique. So I'm 50% African. I know when I came out, there was an error. Like it was horrible, but yeah, I'm still 50% from Africa. So when I told him that, he comes to me like, "I knew you were a bro." So we developed something. Eventually, in 2022, as I told you, I turned single, and that destroyed me. That completely destroyed me. I was already doing bad, 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 bad because everything was going bad in Berlin. But that one took me over because that's 15 years of relationship. I proposed in February, and by September, I was single. We were getting ready for the marriage. We already had everything planned. We already had the place set up. We were living together for a while at this specific house. And yeah, I turned single and I broke. And Jamada told me, dude, we made a bet. And if I lost the bet, which I did, I had to install Tinder.
oh no.
And that was a bad part of my life because I started going out, but back in the day, so when I moved to Berlin, I was 117 kilos. I was a little bit wider, and then I
Heavy.
started heavy department.
That's a
There was no
wham
muscle
gag.
there. There was no muscle, boy. That was
Gragas cosplay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I started working on myself. I wanted to get better in Berlin. I did my best, even before like the breakup. Even before that, I started as soon as I walked in December. Sorry, in January, the second. I started jogging. I started taking care of myself. I wanted to be the best person possible for my wife, and because they deserve that. If you want someone like the best person for you, you should be the best person for someone else. You can't expect the best from someone else if you can't even be the best for yourself. And that's what I started doing. So when we broke up, I felt like I was a two. I'm not kidding. I felt like I was a two. So Jamada put me on that situation, and I did get a few matches, like a lot of them. And to be honest, my objective, I know this sounds weird, I was so bad mentally. I just wanted to go on dates with no strings attached of like doing something with anyone. I just wanted to sit down with someone, have dinner, have breakfast, have brunch, have lunch, go sightseeing. I just wanted to meet people to get new friends. So I go with a lot of people just because I wanted to meet friends. And eventually I realize because they start telling me that I'm not that ugly. And I'm like, okay, so for my self esteem, that was really good. So I ended up on a part in Berlin, going on 5 to 7 dates a week with different people.
Whoa.
But I would never go for kisses or anything. No, swear, clean, clean.
Mm.
I'm not that sort of person. So everybody thought I was a whore. That's my reputation. But I just wanted to go out on dates to meet people because I was lonely. I didn't have a lot of friends outside of the NLC, and people weren't living there because I was the only one full time. So people would go from England to Berlin and then they would fly back. So on the rest of the week, I was by myself. So I wanted to get to know friends, and I used that. And yeah, that was I had to clean myself eventually. And Jimada always makes fun of that. Like, I put you in the dark path, brother. I put you in the dark path. I'm like, I just wanted to meet people. Don't take the wrong idea from me, boy.
That's the wrong place to be making friends.
I realized that eventually. I realized that because everybody had different intentions.
Yeah.
You have no idea the messages I received. I'm like, can we just go out? And they're like, yeah, we go out and then we do this. And I'm like,
oh,
I was in a relationship with one person for 15 years, so I didn't know other people. I was new to the game. I'm going to tell this history because this story because this is way too good. I'm sorry if I offend anyone. She was a lovely girl, by the way. She was a scientist. She was heavy into Pokemon as well, and we went for brunch. 11 a.m. Keep this in mind. 11 a.m. I go into brunch and I wanted to find the best pancake in Berlin. So I would use these dates as an excuse to find the best pancake. So I went to a brunch place. And when we get there, filled with girls and a few couples. I'm like, oh man, this is a big one. So I sit down and everyone was like, this is from each other. It was filled. It was packed. It was Saturday morning. So obviously it was packed. She gets in, wonderful person. We say hi. She sits on the other side. I sit on this side, and we started chatting. And she's like, "What is your worst insecurity?" Like, straight up. I'm like,
deep.
My looks, I guess. And she looks at me like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I was still healing. I'm like, I think I'm a 3 or a 4 maximum. So I'm still dealing with the fact that I broke up recently. And she's like, dude, what the hell are you talking? She starts screaming in the middle of the brunch. Like, and she goes, you're a 9. And the girl next to me just says, preach it, girl. I'm like, gosh. So I'm a shy guy. When they say that, I go full red. I'm like, gosh. And I lost my words, which is not the usual thing. And this girl, she was lovely, by the way. But she goes like, do you have any plans for later? And the idiot that I am, I go with, yeah, I'm going to be playing D&D at 9 p.m. And she goes like, do you want to schedule something else? And I'm like, no, because I'm the DM.
I'm busy at 9.
I'm the DM. I can't miss out. What do you mean? And she goes like, oh, but you play until when? I'm like, probably midnight. And she's like, okay, we do something after. I'm like, I'm going to be tired. I was so bad at this. She goes like this. Hey, I'll take you to a cool place. And she starts searching on the cell phone. And she does this. And she showed me what the place is. I'm sorry for all the viewers and you as well. She presents me with a sex dungeon. Keep in mind, it was 11 a.m. I had my bagel in front of me. And I look into the cell phone. I look in front of her, and I had to do the meme, and I just say, "Really, right in front of my bagel?" I had to. She was like, "Hey, we can go there. We rent the place. You tell me your wildest kinks. I tell you mine." I'm like, "It's 11 a.m., boy." The guy brings me over my latte. He was like, "Do you want anything else?" I'm like, "I think I need alcohol, man, because this is getting weird."
The bill.
We go out eventually. We just go for like the subway. When we get to the subway, we're waiting. I'm like 10 minutes, 5 minutes until my subway. I'm like, I don't think I can hold this much. She gets close to me. I'm like, oh boy, I have D&D. I have D&D. So what I do is 2022, it was the last year of COVID. I pull my mask and I put it. She was like, "You don't need to use the mask any longer." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm a germaphobe. There's a lot of people on this on this station." She was like, "You should take your mask off." And she gets closer to me. I'm like, "Nah, 1 minute until the subway. I can't anymore. Like, I'm committed to this." I get on the subway, I bail, and eventually she sends me a message. "I was really into you. Didn't you get it?" I'm like, "I didn't see the clues. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just wanted the brunch, man. I just wanted the bagel."
Just wanted to play D&D, man.
I did play D&D, and it was an awesome, awesome session. I swear I was horrible at this. I was so horrible. I couldn't get hints. I couldn't. I was new. I didn't get hints. Oh man.
Thing is, I love D&D so much. I would have done the exact same thing.
See, my boy, he knows what I'm the DM. I can't miss out. Like,
Same here.
say you put a lot of effort. What do you mean a sex dungeon? Ah,
Hey, man, I do 30-hour prep for my session. You go away.
do you know how hard it is to get 5 people together on the session? Like,
It's
obviously,
awful.
I could just book that sex dungeon whenever I want. I just need to play. But D&D, nah, man. Nah, it was actually a boss battle and everything. Nah.
Oh.
Oh man, I missed. I don't know. I was so bad. Yeah, that was the Jamada story. There's a lot more, but I not safe for air. Jamad is. I love my boy Jamad. I love my boy Jamad.
Hey, if it's a D&D session, one, you can't miss that. And two, if it's a boss fight, you equally can't miss that.
Obviously.
I'm running a session right now. We just fought a train, the Crooked Moon session, Legends of Advantis. I'm promoting them for free, but it's a banger book.
See, sponsored.
Yeah. Hashtag sponsored. No. Moving on from the sex dash.
That was a wild. I was afraid, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was thinking like, oh yeah, she sounds really good actually. Pokemon.
she was a nice person. She was a
She
nice
was
person.
nice. She's a scientist. Yeah.
Lovely person, though.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got a bit of a freak to them. But
Never saw it anymore. Yeah.
delete the app.
Actually, I did. I couldn't. That was not my jam.
Oh, well, I want to move on to hosting philosophy, right? And what it kind of means to you and how you do it in a way. So I've been on the side of the stage, Stockholm NLC, when you are doing your kind of classic Archer moments, right? And I'm talking about the clap. And when you're on the stage, it's kind of just genuinely electric. And I'm gonna be so honest. But as the host, what does it kind of feel like to ignite that kind of energy in the crowd?
It's something that can't even be described. Like it's impossible. The things I've seen, people jumping left and right, or like with the cell phones, the guitar moment in Lisbon in 2022. It's it's addictive. It's addictive because, as I said, I'm just a viewer who's lucky enough to be on that side, and I get to see that point of view from people joining you. I do have a skill on stage, which is I search for the sick deer. And I explained this to James Bank to help him, and I think he loves this as well. Which is when I step on stage, if you see it while I'm doing like rehearsal, while I'm waiting for the timer to count down, I'm looking at the crowd, finding my sick deers. My sick deer is someone that goes into the event, and you can definitely see it, and they want to jump, they want to scream, they want to enjoy themselves, they want to be part of that moment. And when I start searching for them, you see them in the eyes, the deer eyes. They're like, I want to do it. And when I see that, I try to find another one, another one, another one. I try to find at least 10 of them. It's really easy to find them. And when you find them and when you start hosting, you talk looking at them. So when they see you talking directly at them, They're already so excited that they want to do it. They want to jump across the street like the deer, even though like not the right moment. So when they want to do it, and if they join me, it means that everybody around them will be like, man, I want to have as much fun as this guy or this girl. So they do it as well. So they spread the sickness. And as soon as they spread the sickness of enjoyment, everybody joins in. And there's no way out.
Mm.
Because if you pay money to be at an event, to sit down and watch a game, go to a cafe, stay at home, watch Twitch, man, whenever people tell me you cringe, I'm like, I love it. I'm happy I'm cringe because I'm so happy. It's a different feeling. It's a different feeling. I'm blessed every day. Whenever I go on stage before, I always do a prayer and I always say, thank you so much for this opportunity. I will never know if this is my last one. So let me have as much fun as I can possibly have.
Mm.
And I'm
I like
blessed to
that.
do this. Yeah. That's always the sentence I say. Because when I started doing it in 2018 at Blast, you have so many lights around you that you can't find the sick deer. And it came to me back in the day when I was being trained by Zyrene. I was doing it with Vedias as well. That was a horrible year as well. Uh, During that year that I quit my job to try and focus on casting and all that, and I sent my application to the LCS. My application was done with Munchables. I should have sent my application with Vedias because I think we actually really did a really good combo. I sent it with Munchables because Zarin told me to do it, but I recorded that VOD on the morning after a friend of mine died. And that year, I lost 5 friends of mine on different occasions from different situations. One was run over. Another one was 26 years old. He had 2 daughters. One was 3 months. His heart stopped during the night. No, no, nothing else. Just that. And your life is gone. Wimp. The last one, which was the day before I recorded the VOD I sent, which in hindsight was like a 5 out of 10 of what I could do.
Mm.
I was going to the hospital, but I was training so hard for that VOD so I could send it to the LCS. I was training so hard, and he was at a hospital, and everybody was visiting him. And I told him, "Hey, can I visit you on Saturday? I'm going to visit you on Saturday." And I'm like, "Yeah, we have the entire morning for the visit." And I was a big friend of his son. He had a son. When I get out of my house to go visit, his son calls me. He had cancer, pancreas cancer, really bad stage. He calls me. I'm like, I'm on my way. I'm getting on the bus right now. We're gonna have the entire morning. And he goes, you don't need to come anymore. He died 30 minutes before I got on that bus. I never got to say goodbye. I went to his funeral and I saw a face that I know I could have seen if I just went one day before. That hit me like a truck. My VOD was compromised, obviously, but it doesn't matter. Everybody's fighting for that shot. It doesn't matter your personal life. It matters what you do on stage and what you do on broadcast. So whenever I do a broadcast, whenever I do a stage, I look at the monitor or the screen or the webcam or the camera, and I think about those guys where their lives were cut short. Mine wasn't. Mine wasn't. I don't know what happens after we close the window, after we log out. But if somehow I have the blessing or the opportunity of meeting those guys again, especially the 26 years old, I want to tell them how I live my life and how I live my life to the fullest so I could compensate the fact that they couldn't.
Mm.
So to me, like it's an electric feeling, but it's also, how do you say, it's a burden I carry that I need to do the best that I can. I need to keep climbing because I need to be the best that I can be because I was blessed enough to stay at this earth while thousands of other people around us, they can't. Imagine you like One Piece as well, right? You like it. You like
Yeah.
me. If you realize the amount of thousands of people will not be able to see the end of One Piece,
Mm.
maybe we don't know, but maybe we might be blessed to see it. We got to live it to the fullest. That's my motto. The keep climbing. It's about that. So whenever I look into the monitors, I always think that I'm talking to them, that they can hear me. So that's why I have a lot of fun on stage. I would do a disgrace to their memory if I was not my best every day I go on stage or on camera. It doesn't matter what is happening on my real life. It matters what I do when that camera goes on. When I told you in 2022, I'm a big yapper, by the way, I just realized.
Nah, keep on going, man.
2022, I tried to off myself with the massive amount of pills. And I was laying on that bathroom floor in Spandau. I remember like it was yesterday. That's actually a sight you will never forget. A lot of foam on your mouth and your muscles when you get into that big overdose. I'm sorry for being so, graphic. Your muscles tense up. You stop being able to move. You just
Mm.
spasm. I was able to go to the bathroom, to the toilet and throw up. And there was a little bit of blood with it because the reactions were already happening. I sat on that floor tile for, it felt like 5 hours, 10 hours, but it was like 1 hour maximum in pain, excruciating pain, trying to wash whatever I could. Not going to the hospital because I couldn't even get my cell phone. I go to the mirror and I have that conversation with myself and God. And I had to do Aurora Cup, which was the Aurora Cup and NLC 2022, the winter split. I got up. I went to Spandau to get some air, to get some sun, and to buy a knife so I could make myself a promise. I still have the knife. I make the promise. I go back home. I go on OBS. The webcam is looking at me, and I do Aurora Cup, and nobody actually knew I tried to commit seppuku. Nobody. Only a few months later, I told my friends about it. Nobody even realized when I'm on that webcam, I'm being paid to do that. And I know a lot of other people would be blessed to be there and probably would do a really good job, if not better. So I got to bring my A game as a way to say, hey, I live my life to the fullest because you couldn't. Yeah.
Mm. Do you ever kind of
Sorry, it's so heavy. I laugh about it.
No. I like it. I like it. Do you ever feel the weight of that in a way? Like sometimes you have to keep on really trying for it not to affect your job in a way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. I think I'm blessed to have this job. I'm
Mm.
actually a freelancer right now. I'm looking for a job. So I'm blessed to do what I do. When I do dubbing, voices for kids, when I do esports, when I do whatever I do, I think I'm blessed because it's one of the greatest jobs in the world. Let's be honest. It's really, really good. Like, oh, it's really rough because you have to study video games, which is your passion.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Massively.
It's amazing watching patch notes and reading them and
Mm.
breaking down stuff. It's beautiful. It is rough when you can't go higher, Like I really wanted to go to the LEC, have a shot, have a shot. Um and sometimes everything is burning around you and you might not even have a job tomorrow, but you have to keep smiling on that webcam. Is it hard? Yes. Is there other things that are way harder than this? Millions.
Mm.
There's a burden sometimes, yeah, but I don't think it's that much, to be honest. Yeah.
If anything, that made me realize that I need to start binging One Piece more.
You gotta step up, man, because that guy's not stopping.
Yeah, like it's not stopping. It's still ongoing. People are not going to be able to finish it, and I don't want to be one of those people. So I've
Nah,
got about
man.
400 episodes to catch on up
Oh
after this.
boy, we're kind of the same, by the way. Oh man, but I'm gonna rewatch it right now with my girlfriend. She wants to watch One Piece. I'm like, hey, I stopped at Don Flamingo, which is like
What?
600-ish
It's like
episodes.
600, 700.
So I just need to see 700 episodes with her, and then we can
You'll be
start watching
fine.
things that I didn't watch. We're doing an anime because she never watched anime back in her life.
Ooh.
So my first anime to her was like, "Hey, let's watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood to see if you like anime." And she was like, "Oh." Then we go on Hunter x Hunter. She was going, "Oh." I'm like, "Okay, you're ready for the big one."
Yeah, you ready for the big one? You got to catch up. One Piece Baby is ahead of her. So
And she goes
oh.
like, "Hey, should we watch Boruto?" I'm like, "Hey, do you want divorce?" No, I'm kidding. She
Hey,
didn't say anything
I
like that.
used to watch Boruto when I was younger. Honestly,
Oh
I didn't think
gosh.
it was that bad, but like
You
I
could be
was
watching
young.
One Piece though.
I was at the same time. So
Big.
we watched a lot of stuff when we were younger. Some not so good, some pretty bad, and then some pretty goated.
I've
But
seen some animes that I regret. Yeah, 100%.
yeah,
I've seen
I've
them.
seen so many that I'm like, what have I just spent 12
Why?
episodes
Yeah.
watching?
Why? Like, why?
And equally, you watch some of them, and it's like, okay, well, I'm near the end, so even if it's bad, I might as well finish it, just so you can say I've watched it.
I've reached an age that I don't even care anymore about that. I'm like
What?
7 episodes in. I need 3 episodes to end this. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I've reached the age where I don't care.
Oh,
I don't
what?
care anymore.
No.
But how does it end? Nah, I'm not invested.
Don't care.
I don't care.
Uh, I have a hot opinion, right? I think Cyberpunk Edge Runners was not worth it.
On what?
I don't know if you've seen it, but
Yeah, I did.
I got to episode 7, and when that time skip happened of David like 4 months in the future, I thought it was the most random thing to ever happen because they just didn't explain it.
What did you want explained?
I just wanted to know what had happened in the time. Suddenly, this guy's in the slums, and then he's a multi-millionaire in high-rise of his apartment.
You gotta keep watching to know what happened.
I watched all of it. I think the only redeeming part of it was Lucy, to be honest, but maybe I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy Cyberpunk. I was like not prepared. I just walked in raw, didn't even see the trailer or anything. I watched it. I'm like, hey, this was good.
Mm.
Did it change my life? No, it didn't. Was it good? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I thought it was peak up until episode 7 onwards.
man. When he breaks down mentally, I saw myself in that, so I'm really enjoying it. Like, now we're talking. Yeah, he's going crazy.
Yeah.
That's me.
Cyber psychosis.
Yeah, but with League of
Honestly.
Legends. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that every day. Twice the amount of pain David's going through when I'm playing League of Legends. Yeah, get me on Summoner's Rift and you see me tweaking on my computer. It's
See, I've reached the age where I don't care anymore about that as well. I play for fun. It's weird. It's so weird. If I lose a game, I'm like, did I enjoy my time within the game? Yes, I did. The victory doesn't matter anymore.
I think
Wow,
I'm
it's
at the
weird.
point in League where if I have someone go 0-10 on Twitch, which I had yesterday, don't get me wrong, I was a bit angry, but I'm just like, I'll just queue another. So I'm kind of like in the
There
middle.
you
I'm getting
go.
there.
The most I could say is like, man, if you could meet a champion in real life, I'm talking to that individual that goes like 0-10 and it does it on purpose. The maximum I could say is like, if I could meet a champion in real life, it would be Echo. So I could go back in time and explain to their parents that maybe having a baby is not the greatest idea. That's the maximum I could say.
Do not get your child a computer.
Or maybe don't get a child because that thing. No, I'm kidding. Don't take me seriously, please. Yeah.
No, it's
Unfortunately.
good. Now, a question: are you gonna watch One Piece with your girlfriend in Portuguese, or
Nah,
I was gonna
Japanese,
say Japanese is
Japanese.
probably the best one, right? But then you could be like, look, there's a certain guy that plays Brook.
The thing is, One Piece is awful in Portugal because it has been multiple dubbed. So there's
Oh,
a dubbing at the beginning, which is atrocious. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. Then in the middle, it kind of fixes. Then it's horrible again. And then there's One Piece Stampede, which actually works really well. So it's like you have to watch multiple takes from One Piece if you want to watch it in Portuguese. Nah, because the first time Luffy appears in episode 1 on the barrel, and he's
mm,
like, "Hey, I'm Monkey D. Luffy." In Portuguese, they translated the monkey, so actually they say monkey in Portuguese, which is macaco, and they say, "I'm the monkey from the Luffy"
oh
instead
no!
of monkey. You know, it's straight downhill from there. You know.
First episode.
You know, you see the first episode, you're like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. I don't need to watch the rest of it. I'll just put
Yeah.
it in a
So
different language.
Japanese, definitely.
Mm. God, she's gonna have to watch a lot, but I couldn't recommend anything more. But I want to move on, like segue onto something that I call Pantheon Gym.
Mm.
Now, that's a little intriguing as a whole topic, but I, as I said before, I was in Sweden. I was at the event, right? I was on the sidelines. I had the
Mm.
privilege of seeing you actually prep in person, and it kind of reminded me like a Pantheon training montage in a way. Just seeing you like do those pure reps on the stage, like the same lines over and over and over, like kind of like you were forging them in something. How would you describe the way that you prep for events?
Ooh. It really depends on what the event wants. This one, they wanted that weird beginning with the old guy where you break the mold, blah, blah, blah. And they wanted me to do a speech to begin and then present the trophy.
Mm.
Hear me out. I had this conversation with NLC. I think the trophy was atrocious.
Oh, don't even get me started. I was the
It
one
was a
who was
rock.
yeah, I was the one who was picking it up, taking it off stage and on stage, and it was crumbling in my hands every single time I was holding it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
it was
was.
bad.
I see the idea, the being original and stuff like that. My idea was every team gets a piece of something. Okay, and
Mm.
when a team loses, they lose that piece. And we would make a video instead of the old guy. We make a video in the middle of a forest on top of an old oak. You know, one person representative from a team that lost putting it there, putting it there. Everybody puts in the symbols, and it assembles to the X with a lot of runes like God of War X. Because in spring you want the shield, in summer you win an X with like runes and stuff. So you're equipping yourself to something bigger. We gotta rock.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the stage wants, but the way I prep is usually what I want to get from the audience. What is the
Mm.
vibe I want them to get from this? Do I want them to get hyped? Do I want them to get ready? Do I want them to get warmed? So I define like the momentum I want from each individual part. If it's something to make a joke out of it, you need to start smiling and then look at the tears that want to smile and then prepare that speech. It has a lot of thought in the back of it, but at the end of the day, I just want to have bullet points so I go on stage and I be as natural as I can. Most of the things you see me prepping, and then I get there and I do the opposite. I just want to have bullet points, and then I just do what I know is best when the audience is there.
Mm.
Because I'm a viewer, I guess, so I know what they want. Because I'm also a viewer.
I feel like that makes you better off the dome, right? When it comes to improvisation.
Yeah, there's so many issues on stage. You know that.
Yes, yes, I do.
You need to improv.
Uh,
I wish I could go on the stage and everything was as it was supposed to. But since that's not the case, you gotta
Yeah.
prepare.
Yeah, I remember all that crowd work you had to do with that long, long tech pause.
Yeah, when someone tells me we might have a tech pause, I'm like, okay. I click on the button ETA, you hear nothing. 2 minutes go by and you hear, you might have to buy a little bit more time. Like, what's little? And they're like, it might be 5 minutes, it might be 30. There's a massive difference between 5 minutes and 30 minutes. We only had to do 1 hour and 10 minutes, but aside from that, it
Yeah.
was all cool.
Yeah, only an hour and 10 minutes. Only an hour.
Improv.
Yeah,
It's not easy.
improv
It's
just
not.
for a straight hour. You know, that's so chill. But oh jeez. There's a line that I personally love that you said. It was kind of integrating League and kind of your personal life. And it was, I don't need to play Pantheon inside the game if I can be Pantheon outside the game. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I think that hits hard because it mirrors to me seeing your hosting for the first time actually in person. Like, your hosting kind of mirrors that Spartan lifestyle, that Spartan actions, in my opinion. How would you say that's kind of accurate, like to your hosting style?
It was in 2022. It all came down to that one. I was playing my boy. I was trying to get to master with Pentium top only. That was an experience. He sucks back then. It was so horrible. Thankfully, they buffed him, but then they overtuned him. When I was playing with him and I started listening to the codes, they actually did a lot of echo within me. And then when I turned single, the promise that I made myself was I have 30 days. I have 117 kilos. I don't like what I'm staring at the monitor. I was using compression shirts so people wouldn't see how
Oh,
wide I was. I wasn't comfortable. And I'm like, I have 30 days to change at least my physique. If I don't change within 30 days, I'll finish what I started today, which is I'll log out. That's why I bought a knife and I put it on my kitchen counter and I didn't touch it for 30 days. And whenever I didn't want to work out and I would go do breakfast or something, I would see that knife and I'm like, oh boy, I know it's
ooh,
dark. It worked. And in 30 days, I was able to lose a little bit of weight. In 3 months, I went from 117 to 69 kilos. It was massive,
wow.
but I had to do it. Was it healthy? No.
No, no.
I had a lot of loose skin back in the day. Thankfully,
I
I was able
was
to feel it. Yeah.
I was
No
gonna say,
surgery required.
surely that was a lot of loose skin, right? Because that is not a healthy way to lose weight.
No, no, it's not. I would go outside. If it was like in the summer, it was winter though. But if it was summer and if there was any wind against me, you would hear that of my skin flapping. You know? I joke with these things, don't worry. So yeah, I had to change. And I started listening to the quotes. And when I heard the quotes, and it actually reverberated with me,
Mm.
I went onto that website where you have all the quotes and I started reading them. And I'm like, damn, this means something. The person who wrote that, massive. I don't know who it was, but kudos. Um, I put it them on my cell phone as an MP3, the Pantheon quotes. I still have that soundtrack.
Mm.
And I went for the jog because I couldn't get gym in Germany because I didn't have a German bank account. Yeah. So I jogged and I worked out in a little park near me, a kids park. I didn't have a gym, so I had to work as I could.
Improvise.
Yeah. I bought some resistance bands and I started studying on how to get better. Because I was like, I found myself excuses my whole life to be healthy. So many excuses. It's this, I don't have that. Oh, it's too much. Oh, I like eating. And when I heard Penton, I'm like, either you do it or you don't. Stop joking. Stop joking. Either you do it or you
Mm.
don't. And when I started studying and realizing you can actually do it, and it's quite simple. Shut your mouth on the kitchen, work out. Obviously, you might have some health issues, and I've studied and I have my own personal trainer course right now. So I can do some side hustles as a PT. There's a lot of things that can actually affect you, so you don't lose as fast. But there's always a way. Either
Mm,
you want it or you don't. So I learned that through physical effort, I could find peace within myself. I could break myself and mold myself into something new. Because when you work out, your muscles, they break into something new. They
that's
heal,
true.
they regenerate. So if your muscles can do it, why can't you do it within your mind? You obviously can. What's stopping you? You. It's that simple. Is it painful? Oh gosh, it's atrocious.
It's not
But if you
nice.
want it, you'll do it. I think the bigger treasures are found within the hardest tasks.
Mm,
The more pain you feel now, the greater the feeling will be when you open that treasure. Yeah. And I had a lot of blisters. I had a lot of like wounds on my lips from running within like minus 10 degrees at 5 a.m. in Berlin while it was raining. Like, my greatest day was in 2 of October, 2 of November, sorry, 2 November, 2nd of November. That was the day I was supposed to be married. That was the day we were going to get married, a Sunday. And I was starting my journey then. And I told myself, I'm going to wake up and do a marathon, which is 40 kilometers. Keep in mind, I couldn't do 5, 6 regularly. And I was like, I'm going to do 40. Because if I could do 40, I could do something that I was not supposed to do. So if I could do that, I could survive without her. That was my mind process. So I
mm,
wake up on that day and I was fueled by energy. And I look out and it was raining a lot. And rain in November in Berlin is cold. And I'm like, I'll do it another day. And then when I was about to give up, I hear something within my mind saying, see, there you go. You've shown yourself yet again that you don't really want to do it.
mm,
And I'm like, you son of a gun. So I get dressed and I go out. And it was raining so much. It was so cold. There was so much wind. Dude, it was horrible. But thankfully, it was raining, which kind of camouflaged the tears from my eyes while I was running that I could see. Like I was crying because I should have been walking down an aisle and saying, I love you for the rest of my life. Yes, I want to marry you. And I was running in the middle of nowhere at minus 10 degrees running. And I'm like, yeah, obviously I was crying like hell. That took me like a long time, by the way. That was like 4 hours and 30 minutes of running nonstop. You get to a point where you don't even feel your legs anymore. You're just doing out of like momentum. It's automatic. And I had something within my ear, like music, but I had not a GPS, but it's a tracking app that tells you how much you're running, the speed, blah, 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 blah. When I hear the woman say 41 kilometers, run. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. That's the 40 mark. I'm done. My body gives out. I almost pass out on the middle of the grass. I vomit myself and I couldn't like move. There's a lot of people walking by and they're looking at me like, oh, another guy went to the night and probably is drugged. I'm like, no, man, I just did 40 kilometers, man. Please have some mercy. That built within me something of, there's a philosopher who said back in the day, what a shame it would be for a man to grow old without realizing what his physique could do. Something in that sort. It's not the exact
mm.
translation, but you're like, yeah, what could you do with your body? What is the ceiling? Do you know the ceiling of your own body? I would like to know. And I've achieved things that I didn't know it was possible. Am I a freak in like working out and stuff like that? I really like doing it, but I like to push myself to the limit to understand how far I can do this because I know one day I won't be able to bench as much. I won't be able to squat anymore. I know I won't be able to walk without a cane. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. So I want to look back and say, man, I achieved this. I was able to bench 120. I was able to squat this. I was able to leg press this. I was able to climb this. I was able to swim that. I was able to run that. Yeah, man. Like my objective in life, as I told you, is climbing a mountain, and Pantheon lives within me, to be honest. I want to climb a mountain so at my last day, I can visualize it and not say, look at what I did. No, I want to be at the highest possible moment I can be on that mountain, at the peak if possible, so I can look down and see the view. And that view will be you run this, you bench that, you did that stage, you did that, you were able to inspire this amount of people, you were able to release your own anime, blah, 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 blah. That is going to be my view. Because again, I don't know what happens when you log out, but imagine this. Follow me. If you go to a place, there's a heaven, there's whatever, there's like a garden, doesn't matter. Someone is holding that garden, and you walk in, and there's a screen, a monitor saying, "Hey, you did this. It says your name. You were able to run this. You were able to study this. You were able to work for this company. You waited this amount. You were able to inspire this amount of people." And you're like, "Nah, man, that's not me, boy. Sorry, I weighed this. I didn't study that, by the way. I was not a scientist. What are you talking about? I play League of Legends." And that individual standing next to the monitor looks at you and says, "Oh, no, no, no. This is the person you could have been."
Mm.
How would you feel? Yes, I want to go there, and I want to look into the monitor. And I'm like, "Oh, by the way, you forgot this. I want you to add shit because I want you to add stuff because I did more. I want to be that guy."
Mm. That's another level of discipline that I think a lot of people don't have, or they just don't want.
Oh,
I think
craziness! Yes.
it's I mean, I was pretty much the same. It's
Mm,
something you've got to work on, I feel like. But diving deeper into your motivation, I understand that you do a lot of work with schools, right?
I did. I did. I did. Yeah, I
Mm.
did. Yeah.
Talking to kids about motivation, discipline, and kind of bouncing back from tough situations like you've had, what kind of inspired you to start doing that?
It was a random offer, to be honest. I was invited by a municipal in Lisbon, Oeiras, and they told me, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast with a streamer, then with a content creator, then with an esports player?" And I accepted, and I was hosting that. And while I was doing it, most of the times the people who were invited there didn't do a lot. They didn't talk a lot, so it was mostly me not only asking questions but also answering the questions myself. And the
Mm,
president was watching that, and then he told me, "Hey, would you like to go to schools and share what you felt like esports in your career? What other topics would you be able to do?" And I sent him a presentation of what other topics I could do, and he goes like, "Okay, I was not expecting this." So we talk with the higher ups on every single school in Oeiras, and I started doing it from the fifth grade until the 12th, which ranges from people like with 10, 9 years old until people with 18.
mm,
And obviously you have to adapt the way you communicate. When you talk about motivation with people who are 17, 16, 18, you could actually say, you can be graphic and say, "I was in the bathroom floor overdosing, about to die." You can say that. It's impactful. If you look into a kid of 9 and you say, "I almost committed," they were going to be like, "Mommy!" So
Get
I was no
away!
I was facing a lot of hard things. Imagine you lose your school lunch. There's no school lunch and you're really starving.
Mm,
I was like that for a few months, and they were like, "Oh, you were starving for a few months?" I'm like, "Yeah, I had no money." So you can talk in different ways. It was a weird experience, and I did that for like 2 years.
mm,
I got paid for it, but I couldn't care about the money. I actually had the president call me over like 5 months later saying, "Can you send me the invoice so I can close the account? Because we want to pay you." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this for money. Okay, you can pay me, but I'm not doing this for money." It was so
mm,
rewarding seeing those kids because the district that I was doing it for was mostly with schools that are going with people that go through a lot of hardships, a
Mm.
lot of kids without father, a lot of kids without both dads, a lot of kids that actually starve, and they're rebelling because they feel like the country doesn't care about them, the adults don't care about them. So if you go there and you present your history of success by showing you came from failure, it's different. There was a guy that was actually really troublesome. He was expelled from the school, I think, 15 times because he stole a lot of people. He walked in the classroom flickering a butterfly.
What?
It's not only England. I'm kidding. I had to. I had to. The guy comes in flickering a butterfly. We tell him to like, hey, can you put that away, please? We don't want to die. It was a kid, like 12, 13.
Mm.
And he sits on top of the chair instead of on the chair. And when I start talking, he starts talking as well with his colleagues because he was a badass. I'm like, hey, what's your name? He called himself Messi, by the way. Messi.
It's
I'm
the
like,
Babs.
yeah, right. In Portugal, at least go Cristiano Ronaldo. And he's like, I'm the Messi. What's up? I'm like, okay, do me a favor. Either you shut up or get out. And everybody looks at me like, man, you just came in for a speech and you're treating him like that. And he goes like, who the hell are you to talk to me like that? I'm like, hey, do you know my name? He's like, no, I don't know yours. I don't care. Get out. I'm like, no, I'll sit down properly. No, you get out. I don't want you anymore in this classroom. I don't care. You're not doing yourself any favor. You're actually like getting in the way of your friends. Get out of my classroom. And he get out fuming and he starts shouting. And I'm like, dude, I'm a shoutcaster. You're not going to shout louder than me. Trust me. It's my job to be really loud. So go out there and be quiet. If you want to talk to me, I can go out there and talk to you outside of the classroom. Like, yeah, let's talk outside. I'm like, boy. And I go outside. And he's like, who do you think to disrespect on that? I'm like, I came from nothing. I starved because I had no money in my past. I was homeless at once in my life. So if you think you're coming into my classroom and try to pity talk me, nah, you're too young to do that. You haven't seen enough. If you want to go in there and you want to learn how to stop suffering, we can have an open conversation. But I'll leave you outside and then you knock when you want because I don't want you walking in with me. That's a sign of weakness from me. Knock on the door and ask because I'm the boss. I'll go inside. I'll lock the door. 5 minutes later, I'm like, this guy's not coming in. He knocks on the door. He opens the door. Can I come in? I'm like, are you going to sit? I'm like, yes. But can I make questions? I'm like, obviously, that's the objective. I stopped the conversation I was giving, the speech, and we had an open conversation within the classroom for the next 40 minutes. No more speech, only open questions. The guy at the end took a photo with me, thanked me, asked if he could send some message on Instagram. We talked a bit on Instagram, and you changed someone. And that feeling, gosh, like
Mm.
someone might have went from tomorrow he might be in jail to tomorrow he might finish school. I don't know. I'm being hopeful because he was a really hard case. But at least I know he's not going to face tomorrow with the same burden that he was facing because he had no father.
Mm.
His mom was working double shift because she had to provide. He had no sense of responsibility. He had no father figure as well. So I was the first one to challenge him. Man, those speeches meant a lot to me. Like they meant a lot to me, and they changed me as much as I changed them. It was a big part of my life. Yeah,
Mm. Changing you, I was going to ask,
yeah,
has going to these schools and helping these kids actually taught you anything more about yourself that you kind of didn't know beforehand in the process?
yeah, yeah. Not only about me, but about society as well.
Mm.
I there's a class in Portugal where it's said, I'm not even going to say the name, doesn't matter, but often girls who are like 14, 15, they get married to people who are 30, 40. It's
Oof.
within their culture. And I met one, and she didn't want to be on that school. She was like, I have my life determined for me already. But eventually, the way I was communicating about discipline and motivation, that was the speech on that day. She raised her hand and she made a few questions, and I realized I'm getting to her. I'm breaking the ice. I'm breaking the ice. I'm like, hey, what's your name? We started talking, and she made me a question. Do you think I'm worth fighting for?
From a kid. Oh.
I'm like, why wouldn't you? I was. Why wouldn't you? Because my life is already set up. No, it's not. But I'm going to be forced to do this. You can always find a way out. Reach out to me. Reach out to the president. We can help you. We did our best. And that's when you learn like life isn't fair. And when you're going through a hardship, obviously you're allowed to suffer. Obviously, we all suffer in different ways. We all get tested in different ways. But there's always someone worse than you. That doesn't mean that you are not allowed to suffer, but that just means that you need to find a way to get through that suffering. Because if
Mm.
someone else did, you can do it. But I'm not special. You are. You are. I don't care what you say. Go into the mirror and say, I love you every day. See how hard it is to begin with. It is really hard. Man, I learned a lot about society. I learned a lot about myself. And I learned how to not be a kid anymore. That helped me. We're always learning. If you stop learning, it means you're dumb because there's always more to learn.
Mm. Talking about still being a kid, though,
Mm.
if quote unquote kid you could see you now doing this work with all of the kids, talking to them about motivation, kind of helping them more on that path, or even inspiring people to quote unquote stand on these bigger stages in life, how would you think that he would feel?
That he was able to do it, and there's a way out. I know, as I said, there's a lot of people suffering way more. I did put up a lot of time within my early years of life with stuff that no kid should see or feel or have to go through. A lot of surgeries, a lot of bullying, a lot of
Mm.
beat up. I was beat up multiple times. I was stabbed.
Ooh.
Like, so I think you would really be happy because when I went, or when the kid went to surgery for the first time, and he knew he had 15% chances of survival, and his father came to him and said, hey, I really enjoy knowing you. You are a good one. You know your father is saying goodbye. So even your father has accepted defeat. And I went to surgery and I was able to wake up. Cool. Um, that kid thought that it was not worth living. That was not worth fighting. That was not worth breeding. I saw my mom crying a lot of times because I was sick and they had to spend a lot of money that we didn't have for medicine. My father used to work a lot to get that medicine, a lot. I thought multiple times when I was a kid, when that kid was growing up, like, man, I should just be gone. At least I wouldn't be a burden anymore. It's
Mm.
normal, and those things happen. I think the kid would be really happy. Am I really proud of myself nowadays from what I've achieved? I want more, way more. I want way more. My biggest project in life is about to be released. I think it's going to be at the end of this month. That's my biggest dream in my life. I've been working on this for 14 years. So I'm really happy it's going to finally be out. And that's my dream. And if that's successful, I'm going to say, there you go. I'll also fight for something bigger after that, but I'll be filled. The cup will be filled. I think the kid would be really happy because at least I'm alive.
Mm.
Deep
That's
podcast.
yeah. Sex dungeon to this is quite a contrast.
Man.
Oh, I mean, that's honestly that's it's intriguing to put it honestly. I kind of have one final question about working with
Ooh,
kids,
yeah.
and then we'll get on to the closers. But talking about that one kid who didn't have that father figure and he kind of struggled with getting on in class, and then towards that girl who didn't think necessarily she was worth fighting for. If you had to kind of give one piece of advice to any kid kind of struggling with motivation, whether it be discipline or even going through a hard spot, what would you kind of guide them with, or what would you say to them?
Keep climbing. I'm not kidding
Mm,
when I say this sentence. Keep climbing because this too shall pass. No matter what it will pass if you keep climbing. And sometimes when we climb a mountain, you'll get to a point where you can't go any higher. It's blocked. And instead of forcing it, go back, find a new route. If there's a peak, there's a way. That's always what I think.
mm,
I've thought multiple times I've reached the end of the mountain, but there's always a way to go back, accept defeat, and find a new way to win. Because if you failed and you failed and you failed and you failed, you just found multiple ways that don't work. That doesn't mean there's not a way that will work. Keep climbing and never stop. Because if you don't do it, no one will do it for you. We are surrounded by people constantly. We have friends, we have family, we have associates, we have a lot of people that push us. If you go to the gym with a gym buddy, he will push you. But if you don't push yourself, no one will be able to push you to get out of that couch, get out of that table, to get out of that chair, to get out of where you are. I know life must feel like entire darkness, shadows. I know the voices that scream within yourself saying you're not worth it. You're just a burden. What am I doing with my life? I've achieved nothing. I know those voices. I had them. But you are in control of those voices. If I ask you right now, to you, think about the three closest persons or the three individuals in your life that you love the most. Right now.
mm.
You have 5 seconds. Tell me when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was your name in there?
No.
Love yourself so you can learn how to love others. Keep
Mm,
climbing. And no matter how cold it is, no matter how dark it is, you'll find the peak. You just can't stop.
mm. Pantheon mentality in a way.
Yeah. I love my boy.
Honestly, some league lore just goes so deep, man.
Right.
And
So hard, right?
it's like,
Damn.
oh, I remember I used to be obsessed with Nakrit and all of the lore videos he used to do. Nas one made me so sad.
The Nar. Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, I
Because he's
just it's
lost.
yeah, he's lost and he gets frozen. He's all alone. He's by himself. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he keeps on trying, man. And then he
Yeah.
gets there. It's like, oh, makes me so sad.
But he keeps pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we can do at the end of the day. Yeah, like League Lord is big. I think they've invested so much in the later years. I'm really sad because for people who played on season one or even better as I did, we used to have a journal every week. There would be a journal within the client you could click of what's happening. Jarvan facing Urgot or Swain. You would learn about the things. There was
Riot,
so
bring it
much
back.
lore. Yeah, like oh, I still remember that. It was so close to the rune page. Uh, man, that those were great days. I think Lord is really important because
Mm,
maybe Riot knows this, maybe they don't. I know Arcane and the way they're holding lore right now helps a lot. But to a lot of people, when we get home, this is our escape. This
mm-hmm.
is our get out. So we want to get invested on those characters. Because sometimes those characters, as wild as they are, they'll resonate with someone and they might change it all. It did change with me with Pantheon. So who's to say that Nar or Zeri or Jinx or Vi or Jarvan won't do the same for another kid? And we have more than 150, so that's a lot of lives you could save. Yeah.
171.
We're on 171 already?
Yep, 171. I was talking to Aragon about it, and I looked it up, and it's 171.
Stop.
It's a lot.
Rework the champions. Don't bring more, please. Give Tonic some love. Like there's a few champions that need some love.
Yeah,
Come on.
some of them need some love. Some of them I don't like to see, and give those ones love. But equally, I think we should just remove a couple of them.
Yeah.
Garen, get that guy out of here. I
Eh,
don't want him. I
Yumi
don't
is
want
a
him gone.
thing.
Yeah. Hey, Yumi's fun when she's good. Because you can kind of just sit at your computer, go on your phone, go on Instagram Reels or something like that, and just not play the
Wow.
game.
What investment of time that is.
Yeah,
Just trolling while playing Yumi.
you're during at the same time. No, but to move on to some of these closers, right? Talking about motivation, talking about climbing that mountain. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind personally?
The project that I'm about to release, which is called Nucleus.
Ooh.
I've been working on this for 14 years. I'm a big weeb, as we know.
Yes.
You could
Look at the
see.
background.
But these are actually important because aside from this one and this one, all the other characters are the characters that I voiced. And these are like gifts. Rengoku, like I have Luffy, that was another gift, so that one doesn't count. Like there's Miliu, there's my boy Miliu, there's Rick and Morty, there's the guy from My Hero Academia with the wind. I never remember his name because it's way too big. There's Bakugan. I have like 15 Bakugans over there. Those are gifts from fans. So I'm a big weeb. I've been writing my own manga for 14 years. And it's time to release it this month. But it's not a manga that I'm releasing. I'm releasing the manga and an anime at the same time. We've been working on an anime as well. And it took a lot of time to find a competent team that would be able to do it with the budget that I have, which is I got paid by the NLC and I invested on my anime, so it's not a lot. But it's what I can. And that's the legacy I want to be remembered by, because every character within that manga has something important to say, and that is related to my life and what I've learned from characters that I've met in my life and everything. Um, it's a shonen that kind of starts like Hunter x Hunter or My Hero, where you kind of
Okay.
get happy, but it really fast goes to Attack on Titan sort of death and gore and complications.
Yeah.
So it's like My Hero Academy with no plot armor, with no mercy for the main characters. Everybody can die in a second.
Sounds good.
It's what I've learned about life, and it's what I want to show the world. I'm really excited about this. This is my life project. So yeah.
Got me excited for it. I'll have to start watching it. I'll big it up a
Hopefully.
little. Yeah. Is it going to be in Portuguese or is it in Japanese?
And Japanese love.
You could get voice actors. Yeah, you could.
I just told you my budget is my own NLC pay cut. Like,
hey man.
So no, it's going to be in Portuguese. It's going to be released in Portuguese. I was able to find the best voice actors and theater actors that I was able to get in Portugal. I've done the music myself because I'm a musician. I was a musician back then. Now I've tracked back and I've shown music, like the musics, for other people that I've written, and they were like, "You did this?" I'm like, "Yeah." For people who don't know, I have 7 degrees in music.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
That's crazy.
I keep it hold to my chest. So as soon as I release it, when people start hearing it and they're like, credits, Archarom music. What? Anyway, yeah. So I've done my best to get released in Portuguese, but my objective is to release it in Portuguese so I can get enough budget so I can dub it in English, French, and Chinese. Those are my 3 big objectives.
Okay.
And eventually, if it's known enough, it will be properly animated in Japanese. And that's when I can say I can die happy. That will be the day.
That's so cool though. But to end it, lastly,
Yeah.
this is a question that I ask to everyone that comes on the show, no matter if you're a caster or a host. I love this question, but if your entire career was kind of turned into a documentary in a way, what would be one moment out of the whole thing that would have to be in there?
One.
Yes. I mean, you can do multiple if you want, but one is the one we go with.
So I did play guitar in one of the biggest stages in Portugal.
Mm.
I played the drums in Copenhagen for 13 or 14,000 people. I did Abu Dhabi, I did NLC, I did EMEA Masters back in the day for EU Masters at the LEC Studios. That was a big day. That was a big, big day. Walking into the LEC Studios. And actually getting the producer back in the day, I think it was the producer who came to me like, man, you're really good. I hope you get you at 2023 as a host. Where you at? No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
Where was that offer?
Yeah, like no. You know what? This might sound small compared to everything else that I achieved. If I could, I would put the Pantheon pick NLC 2022.
Oh, yes, I know the exact one.
The video that got to Reddit that I
Yeah,
was
the
really
Reddit one.
excited.
Yeah.
Not because I lost my marbles, but because that was the combination of an entire year where we were able to showcase our personalities NLC
Mm.
cast so hard, so well, that a player that was playing the league felt he wanted to honor me by playing the champion that I wanted. That back then, nobody wanted to play Pantheon. It sucked. And he brought it into a competitive game just because he enjoyed the cast that much. I
Mm.
think that moment just brings back how much we delivered during that year and how good of a broadcast it was and how tight the cast was with each other. I think that moment captures it all, not for me alone, but for all my team. Because there's jokes about everything at the same time. We built such a big narrative out of our personalities and the personalities of the players that the players themselves wanted to pick the champions. The casters liked. Mind blowing. Just so you know how tight we were back in 2022, every day after the broadcast, we would get out of the studio, we would go to a kebab shop, and we would eat kebab until 1, 2 a.m. and be on the street of Berlin talking with each other about the most random things, getting to know each other. How did we get that kebab? It was Jamada, and that would be the end because we're wrapping up. Me and Jamada were trying to find a place so we could eat from now on to get our own place. And he comes to me and he says, I found the place. It's uncle's. I'm like, what do you mean? Jamada had the big afro back in the day. Big
Yes.
afro. He walks in on that kebab. He tells me that. He walks into that kebab shop and he's like, hey, kebab. And the guy turns back, Turkish guy that doesn't speak English. Jamada doesn't speak German. And he goes to the uncle, which is the kebab guy. Kebab? Uncle looks back, looks at Jamada and says, Michael Jackson. And that's when we knew that was the place we would die on.
Oh, you
Ride
finally got
hard.
yourself a boss, man.
Yes, and we would go there every time. And
Oh.
we didn't know how to speak German or Turkish. And he would treat us so well. He would give us the biggest kebabs with the biggest amount of meat because we would go there before it would close. So we would just pile all the meat on our kebabs. So
Mm.
for €5, we would get meals that would last for like 2 days. The guy was so
Oh, I'm
cool.
so jealous.
Duckling was there once and he asked for the big kebab. And we said, dude, don't. It's too much. Like, I'm a man. Duckling was 18. I'm a man. Yes, for the kebab. He sees the biggest kebab on his lap, like the biggest kebab. And uncle goes to him and he's like, sauce. And he points to the sauce. And he's like, duckling, garlic. the white one. And he puts the white one, more sauce. And Duckling goes like, no. He's like, more sauce. And Duckling goes, I don't want more sauce. And Uncle goes, spice sauce? Spicy? And he's like, no, I don't like spicy. And the guy goes like, oh, and starts talking in Turkish. I go in because I'm after Duckling. And he's like, sauce. I'm like, all of them, especially the spicy. And it's like, oh, spicy sauce. And I'm like, yeah. He puts the spicy sauce, looks at Duckling. See? He's big man. Your girl. Why you know spicy sauce? Kissy kissy? Other men? Kissy kissy? You know big man. You know big man. It was not out of like ill
Oh.
intent. It was just lovely. And I think that would be the moment I would pick. Because that
Mm.
showcases how big of a team we were. We were a family. I'm really proud to have that family. They saved me. I like them a lot.
I'm glad. Well, thank you very much for coming on today. It has been an absolute honor. Thank you for being so open and honest about some crazy things and then some quite funny things as well. But if you have any socials that you want to shout out, or anyone that you want to shout out, or even the anime that's coming out end of this month, go for it.
A big shout out to Nucleus that's going to be released. Follow my social media, Archarom, and I'll be releasing like all the links over there. You can follow us and support us even on Patreon, and we will include you within the manga if you actually help us within the Patreon to get some budget. For everything else, I would say follow the NLC. I think it's a region that brings the best we can with so little that we have. And follow all the other casters: Trouble, Jamada, Hiprain, Eragon, Initialize. Solari is no longer a caster. Duckling is with us as well. All those guys make every single broadcast a living gem. I would also like to thank Tiv, who's our TO. He's wonderful. And Joe, who's just joined in, who is doing a wonderful job in saving us. He does things for Tyler One as well. He worked for the LEC. He's a gem of an individual. If I want to give a shout out, it would be to everyone within the NLC that gave me a home for 2024 to 2025. Who knows 2026? It was really special. Whatever we end up, that's another family. Thank you so much. And thank you for the invitation as well. It was
No
lovely to
worries.
talk to you.
You too. Thank you very much for coming on.